I know, but I heard good things about it. I've been planning on expanding from anime a little anyway, and what better way to do so than with a series about expanding one's reach? Worth trying anyway. Mark Naird has just been promoted to a 4-star general, one of the proudest moments of his life. His wife and daughter praise him, he finally got to tell his former boss what he thinks of him, which I think immediately put a lot of us on his side, because I used to have a manager who had experience as a prison guard, and those skills did not carry over in fast food. But staying on topic, Mark had another promotion coming his way too, an opportunity to be head of a brand new branch of the military. Now obviously the series has its roots in recent events, namely Donald's declaration of having American armed forces in space, so Space Force has to have a little chuckle about said roots, but the political influence is a lot less than I imagined, opting for a more varied sense of humor. Sometimes it's as simple as someone shouting not nice words with the effectiveness of Deadpool or Uryu Minune, and sometimes it's a real-world reference. I do tend to forget that there are still people alive today who think the world is flat, not that I have ever met one of these people myself, and I keep forgetting there are people who think there's a whole scale for genders. Again, not that I ever personally met one of these people myself. One of the first things I came to appreciate was the Russian spy. He was like that creeper from Mikakunin de Shinkoke. Everyone knows he's there and what he wants, but no one seems to be bothered by that. I like Mark for the way he treats the people close to him, and he by far has the best character development, but he's still rather flawed with the decision-making skills of Michael Scott from The Office, which often lands him in trouble when he fails to listen to reasonable scientists and oh, well done with the subliminal messaging there, Space Force. Assisting Mark is Dr. Adrian Mallory. I like him because, in his own words, he has passive-aggressive ways to get his point across when people stop taking him seriously. My primary complaint about him, though, is I don't feel like I have a good read on him. Episode 1. He mathematically proves human life is not as valuable as $6 million or $1 billion, I forgot which, but another episode he was going way out of his way to push for decisions that would protect lives. This proves he sees people as resources, and yet his friendship with Mark is definitely there, albeit it took a few urination competitions to get there. And to be honest, I feel that their friendship could fall apart over almost anything. I'm kinda getting Nitrous Brio vibes from him. He could be a patriot, or he may ally himself with Latveria to study under Dr. Victor von Doom to further his research. And don't get me wrong, I'd respect that. I just want to feel like I know what I'm missing, though I don't know what else the series can give me. Shoot, it even told me his sexuality. So let's just move on to my bigger complaint. Episode 2 was the first real stumbling block for me. It took a twist and I genuinely got emotional, and then it did something really— the dog died! I spoiled that with no regrets because, oh my gosh, that one hurt. For this alone, I considered dropping the series early. However, I was back to laughing when Mark tried describing the loss, and later the so-called media manager, who by rights should have been dragged off base when he was fired. Oh, he has a crush? I agree to keeping him. Speaking of romance, I was also invested in Mark's daughter, who had the choice of the guy from Alabama who may or may not have graduated middle school, or the Russian spy. Either way, she's gonna have quite the story to tell her kids and grandkids. And of course, I was invested in how Mark and his daughter were coping with Mark's wife being in prison. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that? Episode 1 comes with a 1 year later transition, and somewhere in there, Mark's lovely wife went to prison. Why? Who knows? I asked the coworker who recommended it to me if I missed something because I didn't feel like going back to check, and he said he Googled it and came up with nothing. I'd really like to know why she's in jail becoming a more troubling person. Something about joining a gang, and she may or may not have been running that gang by the end of the series, but what stood out most to me was her offer to let Mark see other women. Fortunately, he held on to his vows. Wait, what are you doing, bro? We could not try. Your partner's in a marriage, not DMs in a Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, good grief. So a definitive yes or no. True, it's one step beneath Kaguya-sama for humor, but I have to wonder if there wasn't another way to— Wait, what? You can't stop here. You have more loose ends than Uncharted Walker. Actually, this makes things easy for me. Assuming a Season 2 doesn't come out, only watch if you want a quick laugh and don't get as invested as the series would like you to. Goodbye!